The public-private development partnership project seeks to spur inclusive growth through decent work in the Great Rift Valley by catalyzing decent work and access to rights-based services. So when implementing various projects, we see the public sector as a very strategic partner within our work. So when we started working with communities, it then became important for us to focus and reflect on the public policy making process.
One of the challenges one finds in the counties is that since devolution, the role and mandate in regards to lawmaking has not been really taken seriously. There are counties that have been making laws which have not been underpinned by any policy. There are those that have had policies which are not aligned to the laws that they create. And there are sometimes disconnects where a county has laws and policies that they have made, but they're not aware of.
There are many policies in place, but they have never been implemented. And it is a very costly process to develop a policy. Remember that a policy is supposed to inform the government on its roles, on its budgets, and even the needs of the community. So when there is no policy, it means there is no budget for that need. And from the CSO perspective, we realize that many policies are in place but are not implemented.
One of the findings of this investigation indeed is that even though the counties for the last 12, 13 years have been making these laws, those laws are not aligned to the policies within the counties. But besides that, even those that are aligned, and in some cases they are, the people that they regulate do not know about the existence of these laws, know the policies. And sometimes even the well-made laws and policies are not enforced in tandem. You do not get a place where these laws and policies are put together, reviewed together, and therefore addressed as a unit. And from the investigation that we have done, indeed it was clear that even where there existed policies, the public did not know and needed to know the policies.
Most community members are not aware of when policies are developed, how, or they are not involved. Give, for example, the budget processing of the county government. You know, a budget process is a policy, is a government policy on how funds should be utilized in a given financial year. If the community does not participate, then whose needs are you capturing in the budget process?
The counties need to also align their laws and policies in order to ensure that it serves the community for which these laws are made. They cannot just go sit in a place, come up with directives or laws and order the community to act in a particular way. They must bring along the community and the society so that the implementation of the laws and policies that are within the counties are actually viable. And that can only be known if we are able to track both policies and the laws and ensure that all of them are sufficiently stored in a system that is easily retrievable and one can even refer to it.
The public participation process is always wondering because how do the local women, the PWDs get involved? Instead of being a public policy process, it becomes a political process. And those who are in need always miss out in the whole process. So you find that the public participation process should be participatory, should be deliberate.
When we finalized the study in March of 2024, it therefore became very important for us to seek to have a conversation with the counties on the findings of the study and what can we do together to overcome some of the challenges that had been identified, and essentially through the spirit of partnerships see what are the gaps and how then can they be filled, and through which pathways can this be filled. So we have started having conversation with the counties. The study rather focused in 3 counties, Nakuru, Narok and Kajiado, where particularly this phase of the project is domiciled. We have decided to take it on a phased approach, where even though we want to work with the 3 counties, we want to start from one and then develop a model that can be replicated in the other 2 counties. And for this reason, based on the findings that identified the needs, but also leveraging on the buy-in that we have been receiving, then we see Nakuru County as being very strategic in us starting or piloting the work around 3 areas of capacity development, but also the anticipated establishment of the county legal and learning resource centers.
I really want to appreciate that our county is among the 3 that have been piloted for the first phase of implementation. And I was telling Christian that in terms of implementation of the bill tracker for the executive and the legal resource center, we are set. You can inspect the space and see how you can start implementation. Number 2 is, we can the centrality of public participation in our country cannot be gainsaid. And Christian, from the more than 150 petitions and judicial review applications that have been filed in our courts and decisions made, we have now come to realize that public participation is not just a process, but it occupies a special place in the lives of Kenyans. And with the sensitization, we have, I think the locust class case now is the Nakuru case from Kiambu on public participation. But of course, the other decisions that have been made also point to the fact that we cannot take public participation for granted. And therefore, it's important for our county, and we are very receptive that these training forums that should be continuous are given to the county executive and cascaded down to other technical persons.
The process and this research was highly illuminating in terms of information that we were able to generate. We as an organization, Kenya Law, could see that there is much more that we can do. Of course, there are limitations in terms of resources, financial and otherwise, which need to be harnessed in order for us to be able to effectively carry out these duties and mandate. But we thank our partners, ForumCiv, for coming in handy. We were able, through a public-private partnership development framework, to ensure that we have carried out this sufficiently. Again, because of those limitations, we have only carried it within 3 counties, Nakuru, Narok, and Kajiado. As an organization, I think this gives an impetus to go into the other counties and ensure that throughout the Republic, in the 47 counties, we are able to do this. Of course, it will need more partnership, it will need more resources being implemented in it, and I'm hoping the counties themselves will find utility in what we have done and come and partner with us so that we can do it throughout the country.